I mean, the Jets this week, have you seen the Jets injury report? It is a joke. They have nobody left. Darnold's got nobody left to throw to. It's a joke. All right, here we go. Blazing 5.
That's a hot one.
Let's blaze it up.
Fire it up.
It's Colin's Blazing 5. Falcons at Cowboys.
I like Dallas -5 against Atlanta. Listen, Dak Prescott is one of those guys that he plays well at home. Some quarterbacks feel very comfortable at home. Last year at home, he was first in passing touchdowns, tied for first in passing yards, passer rating top 5. And by the way, doesn't it worry you if you're an Atlanta fan? They outgained Seattle, and they got crushed. It's a cotton candy offense with a lot of phony yards in Atlanta. They got blown out, and they outgained Seattle and threw for a lot of yards. And for the record, Dallas loses their opener a lot. But Mike McCarthy, all eyes on him, a lot of heat on him. Now they come home against an inferior team. I like Dallas to win comfortably 30-20.
Lions at Packers.
This is all about the value of the number. Detroit +6.5. I'll take the Lions. They completely outplayed Chicago. You had to watch the game. They were much better than Chicago for all but 8 minutes of it. They were leading 23-6 in the fourth quarter. Then, Detroit can unravel. I get 6.5 points here with Detroit. Everybody fell in love with Aaron Rodgers. You do realize 7 of his last 9 games, he's had declining numbers, right? You do get that Minnesota had 400 yards against Green Bay's defense. The Lions last year played Green Bay close. They lost both games by a total of 4 points. I think Matt Patricia, I'm dead serious here, the next 2 weeks is coaching for his job and to not lose the locker room. This is my upset of the week. I'm going to take the Detroit Lions with an upset over Green Bay. 6.5's a ton of points here for an urgent team that needs to win. Detroit 26-24.
Bills at Dolphins.
So timeout. Miami gets 5.5 at home. I thought we liked Miami last year. Didn't we like Miami last year? Now we suddenly think they stink because Belichick gave a quarterback trouble. Maybe Miami's okay. Maybe New England's defense is fantastic. Ryan Fitzpatrick has faced Buffalo many times. He's been fine. He's done very well. Again, this is not a shock. This is not a rookie quarterback. And oh, by the way, the Bills averaged 19 points last year. They're still babysitting Josh Allen. Did you see what they did in the second half against the awful Jets? Very uninspiring. So I get a Miami team that I liked last year, and I'm supposed to bail because they lost in Foxborough to Bill Belichick. Like sort of everybody does. I'm going to take Miami to win. I like Buffalo a lot. It's going to be, typical Miami September sweat fest for the cold weather Bills. Miami wins 24-23.
Panthers at Buccaneers.
I'm going to take Tampa -7.5. All these lines provided by Fox Bet, by the way. By the way, when Tom Brady loses in week 1, have you seen what he does the next game? Yeah, he never loses, like ever. The Panthers are a bad team that have lost 9 consecutive games with a college coaching staff. The Panthers allowed 30 points a game last year. This defense is younger and potentially worse. Last week, Brady faced the best defense in the division. This week, the worst. Last week, Tampa had a punt block. Won't happen again. Tom Brady had a pick 6. Won't happen again. And the thing about Tampa to watch here, their defense was actually really good. Drew Brees threw for 160 yards. That's it. And the running defense with Todd Bowles was good last year. It's good again. Don't get caught up in losing first week to the Saints. They should have. Carolina's defense is bad and really bad on the back end. Tommy wins by 10, 30-20, Buccaneers.
Patriots at Seahawks.
It's a number. I get over a field goal, Belichick. Okay, Belichick since the start of last year. Look at their defense. It's number 1 in virtually everything. Seattle's O-lines and D-lines are bad. They were outgained by Atlanta. Seattle's D-line's the weakest under Pete Carroll. The Seahawks allowed the most passing yards in the NFL last week, 434. Again, I think Seattle is the better team in this spot. But you know what this is going to be. It's going to be a short, quick game. New England's going to run and eat that clock up. That's what New England's going to do. They don't have a deep threat. And what's Seattle going to do? They know New England's defense is great on the back end. They're going to run the football. That is what they'll do and eat the clock up. This game's going to go fast. The first quarter is going to be gone. Seattle is the better team here. But getting 4 points on a run-dominated game in a good big game. By the way, we think Cam will get beat up later in the year. He's not beat up now. This could be a clock control game. I don't like Seattle's defensive front at all. Seattle wins, but I'm going to take the 4 points, 23-20 Seahawks. All of our lines provided by Fox Bet. And I'm not going to say I'm going to win them all. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put pressure on myself. I got enough pressure in my life.
Buffalo is pretty much out of linebackers as well.
Yeah. I liked Miami all last year. We all liked them. Now they're supposed to be terrible. They're getting 5.5 at home, and Buffalo's all banged up. I like them.
Yeah.
The whole thing about betting is value. I don't have to love you, but am I getting value?
Keep the emotion out of it.
Yeah, right. So now I will say this. It is interesting. I think Joey and I would agree with this. The last 20 years, there's been one team I knew what I was getting every week. Win or lose, I knew what I was getting. New England.
Yeah.
I mean, they literally looked the same. I lived in Connecticut. The games all looked the same. The preseason looked like the regular season. They'd get better late in the year, but they looked the same. Now there's one team in the NFL. I have no idea what I'm going to get this weekend except ball control, New England. This is what's fascinating about Seattle and New England. Can you win not throwing the football? Can you win with Cam having 17 to 20 carries? In 2020, can you win in the NFL by being one-dimensional? Well, they were in week 1. What's fascinating about this game, Seattle and New England. New England has been, for 20 years, the most easily predictable team in the league. Not just winning. Efficiency. They had you guessing. Week to week, Belichick's rules always been, it's a different team every week. This can't be. What you saw is what they are. They do not have a serviceable veteran tight end. They do not have a deep threat. What you saw in week 1 is what you're going to get with New England. This is a very limited offense. And so I think what you're going to see is a lot of running, both teams, and Seattle's O-lines and D-lines are bad. My feeling on this is most of America thinks this is going to be a blowout. But watch this weekend. This will be the classic game where we know Seattle has more dynamic players. Jamal Adams, Bobby Wagner, DK Metcalf, Russell Wilson. We know this is the classic game to watch line play. I know. I'm telling you to watch line play. This, if New England can keep it close at Seattle, it's interesting. This whole league now is dynamic, and it's perimeter, and it's a fireworks shows. And I think New England's saying, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go the opposite of the league, and all we're going to do is run the football. Because I think it's all they can do. So to me, it's a really interesting team, the New England Patriots, where I knew what I was getting every week for 20 years. And now, if by the end of this game, it looks like Miami, then I will go back to saying I know exactly what I'm getting. But I'm fascinated to watch this. Do they have a second gear? Does the dynasty have a second act? And do they have a second gear? And I think New England's going to keep it close. My hunch is they're going to keep it close.